Today on DNVR Buffs Live, Travis Hunter already feeling better than he did last week. And ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Scott Procter officially joining DNVR. Let's celebrate. Drop a dub in the chat. Let's go.
What a day. Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota Store. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. It's DNVR Buffs Prime Time. Look at all the dubs in the chat.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dubs are here. Drop a dub to congratulate Scott.
Scott is officially on the team.
Let's go.
What are you doing?
We're going here. Yeah. I made it clear for you.
My guys, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
Hell
Appreciate
yeah.
everybody out there who showed love this morning, man. I'm very, very grateful for everybody who took time out of their day to say congratulations. It means a lot, man. It means a lot. Appreciative of you guys, too, for rocking with me since day one. I'm sure I wouldn't be sitting here in this seat if y'all didn't want me here, so I appreciate that a ton, man. I'm excited to get to work and take this train up a notch a little bit. You feel me?
Hell yeah, man. I think everyone in the chat noticed from the first show we all did together. It's like, oh, they got something here. So it was only a matter of time, man. And we're stoked to be officially adding you to the team. And, you know, obviously you're going to be on this show quite a bit.
Yeah.
But also one of the things that, you know, just a big initiative at DNVR right now is to up our written offering. And so, no pun intended, it's kind of perfect timing for you to be joining us right now and bringing your writing chops along with you. Can't wait to see what kind of, you know, awesome articles that you can produce on this team.
Appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. Stay tuned at DNVR. You feel me? It's about to go up for sure.
I remember first time I met Scott was after the Colorado State basketball game in Fort Collins.
Who would have thought?
I know.
You guys were sitting in like a shipping container up above the
pretty
stadium.
much.
Literally.
Were you up there too?
I was up there. That might have been the longest walk I've ever took up to a press box.
That was brutal.
That was crazy.
But, yeah, man, that was only 10 months ago.
It's crazy, man.
This dude is just balled out. I mean, look, there's been a lot of new people who've showed up the last 2 years to cover this team, but this guy's head and shoulders above the rest.
And that's why he's with us.
Yes, sir.
It means a lot, man. Y'all gonna make me drop a man tier in here, man. The support from everybody out there, like I said, I appreciate y'all, man. It means a lot. Let's get to work. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, a couple things, though.
Okay.
Couple initiatives. One, we are under 5,000 subscribers
Come on.
away from 100,000 on DNVR. First play button coming through soon.
Oh, yeah.
So if you haven't already, hit us with a subscribe today. And then, you know, speaking of 5,000, I say we get Scott to 5,000 Twitter followers.
Yeah, let's do it.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope.
At Scott Procter _
That's it right there. Y'all been going crazy already today following me. I appreciate it. And, yeah, let's run that up.
And Scott's debut article is up on thednvr.com as well, talking about the relationship between Shedeur and LaJohntay Wester. Go check it out. Much more to come.
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it, boys. Travis is back. He's been back.
Mm-hmm.
But what Coach Prime said today about his status was it was way better than I thought it was going to be, quite honestly. So he said he's going to have an increased role. We got the clip, actually. Let's just play. Here's what Coach Prime said about Travis Hunter in today's presser.
Travis is better than last week. I think he'll have more productivity because he's feeling much better than last week. You could just tell with his little giddy up and the way he goes about life, a little more pep in his step today. I think he did some conditioning today for sure to make sure he's on point with his conditioning because he never tires, and we want to keep that what it is. But I think he will certainly contribute a lot more than he did a week ago because he's healthier.
Best news we could have received, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a conversation we were having on the bus after the game of like, okay, well, if that's the Travis we can get right now, like maybe it makes sense to shut him down and then bring him back after the bye week. But news like this kind of reshapes the way that you think about it. I think that if he can be, it seems silly to put percentage on it. I know Coach Prime was anti-math today, so I will be too. But if he can be anywhere close to himself, I think it's worth it. If he's as far from himself as last week, I actually had a note from the Arizona game, which might contradict this because I wrote down Travis as a decoy is elite. He was just running people out of the way for LeJohntay to eat underneath. But, just for his sake, I want to make sure that, he can be at least close to himself if he's going to be out there. And it sounds like already on Tuesday we have a good chance of seeing that.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's a huge boost. That's the news that every Buff fan wanted to hear today, especially after, the uncertainty, the second half of, last week's game at Arizona. And, if Travis is healthy and ready to go, he 100% should be out there. But even when he's not, this team has impressed me over the last, 2 weeks, the second half of each of the last 2 games without their best player, still playing really good football on both sides of the ball. Because we saw this team last year without number 12 out there on the field, and it was a very different product than what we've seen here recently. So just speaks to the depth of this team, particularly at right receiver, particularly at defensive back, where we see guys like Colton Hood here recently make plays the last 2 weeks. And I'm really excited for him to continue to get more opportunities. But it's, typically people talk about injury sometimes as a blessing in disguise because it allows other guys to step up. And I think we're kind of seeing that a little bit with Trav here and allowing some of these other guys because, LeJohntay Wester has been absolutely balling. Will Shepherd has kicked it up a notch here over the last 3 weeks as well. So it's a positive sign. The depth of this team is real.
Yep.
Yeah, and real quick, just on that note, we don't have a planned note segment, so I'll just sprinkle mine in throughout the show here. One of the ones I wrote down was Colton Hood is the real deal.
Yes, he is.
And I was thinking about it in a whole different frame of mind for some reason when I was rewatching for the second time today. If we weren't in this world that we are now, which I'm thankful to be in, but if Colton Hood was just like coming into a normal Buffs team that didn't have Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders and all these superstars, we'd be losing our minds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A redshirt freshman bursting onto the scene, back-to-back weeks with a pick, and the film is even better than the highlights, if that makes sense. Like, he's just out there clamping up, which just gives you so much excitement for the future of this team and this defense. It honestly reminds me back to Christian Gonzalez, who's absolutely killing it in the NFL right now. But he burst onto the scene. I think his big coming out party was that Texas A&M game in Denver. And it was just like, who is this guy? He's clamping up everyone.
Yep.
And they were just playing, like cover one man with Nate Landman just manning the middle, and he's out there on, SEC receivers, like, locking them down. That's like what Colton Hood looks like out there right now. And like I said, if it weren't for the star power of this team, he would be, like, the story.
And it's not just that Colton Hood got receivers in the torture chamber and that he's making picks and back-to-back plays, but he got some real creativity after the catch.
Yes, dude.
Running it back, running interceptions back. I think he's going to wouldn't surprise anybody if he had a pick 6 here soon
he's gonna
before
have
the
one.
season ends.
He'd definitely have one if it wasn't for tripping over Preston.
Exactly. And he came pretty damn close on Saturday as well. So that's just exceptional stuff in that secondary for sure.
I remember writing about Christian Gonzalez after that A&M game.
Really?
Yeah.
From like a draft perspective?
I just wrote like a Buffs film room for Hank or something.
Sick.
Yeah. It's up there. Go check it out. All right.
I'm sure all of the nice things you said about him look really good now.
I remember I had a tweet. I was like, this is a future first-round pick after that game.
Yeah.
First-round pick.
Yeah, and it's funny because about the return ability, because when Jimmy went down against K-State, they put Colton Hood back to return kicks, and I was like, damn, there's a lot of options on this team for guys to return kicks. Now, of course, every other team in the country can kick the ball out of the back of the end zone, so we never saw what he looks like returning it.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's interesting. And then, an hour later, the ball's in his hands. He's missing everyone going down the sideline.
That's a good point that Hawkeye just dropped in the chat because that's true. I remember when Colton committed here, one of the things he mentioned was that he wanted to play both ways if that was a possibility. And he talked about Coach Prime saying that you got to dominate at cornerback first before we can get to the other side of the ball.
Yep.
And he's quietly kind of doing that
He might
right
take
now.
some snaps at receiver this week.
For real. I can see it, no doubt.
Julian Lewis. Yesterday, he does this thing. Julian likes to post Twitter updates, how the team is doing for Carrollton and all that. And so he tweets, "Let's keep working, #TrustGod," or last week's work, #TrustGod, #keep working. And it's a graphic with the stat line, just a cool 21 of 30 for 416 yards and 6 touchdowns.
20 yards a pop?
Sheesh.
Yep. And then if you look at the top of this graphic, CU Buffs logo.
Yes.
How we feeling, boys?
Well, first of all, shout out to the design team. They're always just in there cooking stuff up and sending it out to these guys. But on top of that, it sounds like there's a pretty good chance that he's going to be here in Boulder this weekend. So
What Steve Wiltfong said.
Yep.
you got to be excited. It feels like it's been dormant for a while. It really felt like there was a lot of momentum. You didn't get the flip. Now here comes another big opportunity. It reminds me a lot of Jordan Seaton's last visit last year, where it's just like, okay, time to throw everything in the kitchen sink at him and get this job done.
Yep. His friend and I guess fellow USC commit right now, Carday Smith, also visiting this weekend. So I think we can see what's starting to come together in terms of the recruiting names that we're going to have on campus. This is the weekend. This is the weekend of the season for this recruiting stuff.
This is the time, man, especially with CU football on the up and up right now. USC is kind of on the
Down and down.
not up and up right now.
How about Indiana?
And then, Indiana, he decided, right, to not take the Indiana
He didn't show
visit.
up, apparently.
Yep.
And obviously Auburn is, I don't think Auburn's even in the
No, they
picture
got
at this
Deuce Knight.
point. So yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good for the momentum of, Juju eventually, flipping over to the Buffs.
Stay tuned. I'll have an article at the end of the week with all the visits and all that stuff. It's going to be a big weekend. You got like a minute and a half. Do you have any other film takeaways from Arizona?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's go. Let's see. One of my big takeaways, and I think Unk has mentioned this a few times, but it just becomes more and more true. There's only one other player that I've seen like this, and he's in the NFL, and unfortunately this guy was just talking about how much he likes him. But Patrick Mahomes, down and distance doesn't matter for him.
Right.
That's what it is for Shedeur.
Yep.
It's irrelevant.
Yep.
3rd and 15, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 1. They're all the same. Like, I feel like even in his brain, he's just like, I just have to get this ball past that line. Nothing changes.
And I think that's part of the reason why he doesn't sweat sacks as much as a lot of us do.
Just like Joe
100%.
Burrow. Just like Joe Burrow.
Okay,
Just saying.
you got me for a yard loss. That's fine. Now I'm finna get more passing yards now. I feel like where his mindset is at.
And it is so demoralizing to be on the other side of it, as I unfortunately have been with Mahomes many times. And at a certain point, you stop caring. You're like, 3rd and 19 doesn't matter. He's just going to find a way.
Exactly.
And to start that game, Arizona gets a sack. They're probably feeling great. 3rd and 15, 45 yards.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And he does that repeatedly.
Yeah.
The feeling I have when this team is like up against the sticks like that, I mean, I've never had it for any other team because it's like you said, it just doesn't matter.
Yep. Oh man, I probably only have time for one more.
Yep.
Sammy Sachs, absolute menace in that game.
Dog.
From the first snap, he was creating havoc. And,
His spin move is crazy, bro.
And he's notching the sacks, but he's also just bullying tackles, just down in, down out. The Keaten Wade sack was created by Sammy flushing him right into it.
Mm-hmm.
That spin move gonna get Sammy sacks to the NFL.
Oh yeah.
I remember recording an elite rep of it during the open practice right before the season. He had a 1-on-1 rep against Philip Houston, and that spin move is for real, dog.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Now he's just got to learn the DeMarcus Ware fake spin.
I know. Put it all together. All right, let's take our first break of the show, and then we'll get back to all the press conferences from today. Shout out to our friends at UC Health with Coach Prime as the Chief Motivation Officer. Scott, how you doing on sleep?
You know what? It could always be better, but I feel like I'm doing all right given the circumstances. You feel me?
Yeah. How you doing?
Pretty good.
How was your day off? Were you able to?
I was able to rest, yeah. It's hardly a day off. got lots of calls, but it's all good. I'm doing better on sleep.
Hell yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm doing great on sleep as well. The bus makes it a little difficult. We had a tight travel schedule, but I survived.
Even I'm unfortunately got a little dizziness.
Really?
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh, no. Well, take care of yourself. That's what Coach Prime wants as the Chief Motivation Officer of UC Health's Ready, Set, Coach Challenge to get Colorado back to its rightful place as the healthiest state in the country. And if you want to join the challenge, click the link in the show notes or go to www.uchealth.org/readysetco.
Also, shout out to Empire today. This beautiful floor underneath us, provided by them, and they do incredible work. They came in here, mapped this out, had it in a matter of hours, actually. It was almost like it just happened overnight because they came so early and put it in, and then we came in one day and it was perfect.
Yep.
So they work quick, they're awesome, and you can get $350 off when you use the code DNVR. It's pretty cool. So hit them up, have them come do a free in-house estimate, and then use that code DNVR to get $350 off that estimate. Go to empiretoday.com/DNVR for details.
All right, let's go to today's press conferences. Keaten Wade back on the podium today. But there was a reason why, I guess. And he had a bit of an announcement. So here's Keaten Wade on his decision to redshirt.
What got you to this point? I would imagine there were some tough times along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It was just surprising just to get hurt first overall, and especially going into fall camp. Big fall camp for me since I'm a junior, but they just been considerate on my part, just letting me redshirt and playing me strategically for games. So I'm just glad I get to showcase my skills, though. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, before I played, I talked to Coach Livingston and the Coach Dancy. They all said it was smart for me to redshirt, but I also can talk to them, see what they want their plan for me to be. But I'm here any way I can help the team. So yes, sir.
So he's redshirting, but he just played his first game. So he's got 3 games to play. They're going to use him strategically.
Smart.
I said Texas Tech,
Passing
Kansas,
team.
Utah.
Passing team. Why Utah?
Just because it's Utah.
Okay.
It's them or Oklahoma State or Cincinnati.
I would play him this week.
Okay.
Main reason is because he's hot.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, like he's got the hot hand. Let him try to keep the momentum going. If he did, I'd just play him again next week.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to slow down this week, then you think about it. But I guess the next one's Texas Tech, so I'd probably play him in that one too. And then I would probably just play him 4 in a row.
Yeah, I think that's where I'll lean too.
And then because people asked on Twitter, postseason games do not count in redshirt. So if CU makes the Big 12 title game, anyone who's redshirted can play in that game.
Does that apply to the playoffs?
I did not know
And
that.
it applies to the bowl game and playoffs, yes.
Wow.
So
Very interesting.
there you go. You'll see Keaten Wade at least 3 more times this year, but it may not be the last time you see him once those 3 games are up.
I mean, it's exciting, right? I just got done talking about Colton Hood and how excited that makes me for the future of this defense. And no matter what, any conversation now about the future of this defense includes Keaten Wade because he went out there and had 2 sacks in the first time we've ever seen him on the field in black and gold.
He had 2.5 sacks in his career before that game.
Crazy. He was eaten. And so Keaton was eaten. And that's now just a part of the future, which is exciting for me. And it's also just cool to think about, like, guys thinking about the future.
Yeah.
So much of the conversations around this program is about the now, for good reason. You right now have 2 of the best players in college football, and who knows when you'll have that again. But just thinking about, someone like Keaton making that decision for the future is exciting to think about.
Yep.
And it's dope too because, again, we were just talking about earlier about the depth, right? With injury sometimes being a blessing in disguise. We haven't seen Dayon Hayes in a couple weeks. Hopefully we get to see him soon. But I'm sure that injury helped open up some playing time for Keaten Wade, and he made the most of it. And that's what you want out of your players as a coaching staff. And speaking of the coaching staff, this reflects really well on them too.
Hell yeah, it does.
Particularly on those defensive coaches. Obviously, we give Robert Livingston a lot of credit, but Sapp, Coach Lewis, Coach Dancy, they getting their money. They earning their money this season for sure. They doing the damn thing.
And, again, just taking myself back to a different frame of mind, imagine a time where you can afford to redshirt a guy and not play him in every game after he just had 2 sacks.
Yep.
You can only really do that when you're the team that's leading the conference in sacks.
That is true.
And you have I think they have, I think it was Matt H. who had a stat about this, so I could probably find it in a second. But I think he said 8 or 9 separate guys have registered sacks this year.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Tajay, Sam, Dayon, BJ, Keaten,
Bent.
Arden, Bent, Cam's got a sack, I think. That's 7.
12 players.
12?
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's really crazy.
12 players. 6th in solo tackles for loss. 19th in total tackles for loss. And I think that's among the country because I was listening to Scott Satterfield talk a little bit about Colorado today, Cincinnati head coach. And that's one thing he mentioned. He said that Colorado's defense is being overlooked, partly because the offense is so special and Shedeur is so special. But Satterfield mentioned how hard this defense plays. And that's a reflection, again, of coaching, no doubt. So Satterfield is one of the latest college football coach to realize, that things are a little bit different nowadays in Boulder.
Jordan Seaton was next on the podium. He was phenomenal today.
Yeah.
He's just an awesome kid, man.
He is.
Someone in our company watched the video, Nick, and was just like, wow, Jordan has great media training.
He really does.
And that's, IMG. They're prepping you to play college football.
100%. So here's Jordan Seaton on his confidence growing each week and playing against that Colorado pass rush at practice.
In your freshman season?
Confidence been starting in practice, going against those guys who, getting 7 sacks in a game. They really push me every single day, and I feel like I haven't faced anybody that's as good as those guys in practice.
I know he did. It was a little low. So what was Jordan saying there?
Jordan was saying basically that his confidence is growing each week and that he hasn't faced a D-line front better than what he faces in practice every day, pretty much. So,
and the stats that we just talked about would bear that out.
Yep.
You can't overlook that. Him saying that the best competition I've seen as a college football player is on my own team.
Yep.
And we're 4 or 5 games into the Big 12 season. I mean, that's impressive stuff. And just looking at some of Jordan's analytics stats from Pro Football Focus, last 5 games.
Who is analytics?
250 pass block snaps for Mr. Seaton over the last 5 games. Allowed just 1 sack and just 4 hurries. No sacks, no hurries allowed on Saturday versus Arizona. Once again, was Colorado's highest graded offensive lineman on Saturday via Pro Football Focus. So
he's locking down.
He's the real deal. Coach Prime said today that Jordan Seaton is everything we thought he'd be and then some.
Yep.
That's saying a lot.
Well, and Jordan had a quote today that I doubt you guys clipped, but it combines with something interesting. I don't know if you saw the well-off from yesterday, but it had Pat Shurmur's speech from before the game, and he talked about not playing with anxiety. And it's such a great point because I think I've brought that up a couple different times. Those the slow starts. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it feels like the team needs something to happen to loosen up.
Yeah.
A perfect example of it would be Shedeur hitting LeJonte for 45 yards. It's just like, lets everyone breathe.
Yeah.
And Jordan was talking about his welcome to college football moment. And he said it happened in the spring game. He said, I've never been so nervous. And Jordan didn't play well in the spring game. And people were talking about, oh, this is the guy. I remember, some fan from some team clipped it and was like, oh, this is a guy who's going to fix Colorado's offensive line. And it's just like every time you go out there and make, I guess it's not necessarily making plays in his regard, but do your job at the level that he's doing, you just get more and more comfortable. And that's why I think this team just keeps getting better and better and better throughout the season. Like, as Pat said, you got to just believe that you're going to do it, and I think they're starting to get to that point.
They are. Jordan talked about it. Here's Jordan Seaton talking about the belief of the team right now.
The ceiling for us is so high, which kind of makes it like scary to how good we could be, but could and should don't win. So I feel like once we all, like we're doing right now, as we're building and we're coming together and finding those little pieces that make a team as good as they can be, and I feel like just us every day in practice is trying to get better and accomplish what we got to do.
Gee, it's so funny that that could and should don't win is a hell of a bar, by the way.
Oh, he was cooking today.
But there are so many times, in that being one of them, where I hear a Colorado football player talk, and I'm like, that sounds just like Coach Prime.
For real.
So
For
true.
real,
This
man.
team is really taking on the identity of their head coach, right? And that's what the great
That's
teams
what
do.
great teams- yep.
And this is exactly what we're seeing develop and blossom right now with the Buffs for sure. It's dope to see.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess you probably expect it more from Shedeur and Shiloh, but they're always
Yeah,
saying,
right.
Coach Prime-isms.
Yeah.
But then you hear Jordan drops them, Cam drops them
Yeah,
a lot.
definitely.
Like, a lot of these guys just get up there and, even honestly, what I was just talking about, Pat Shermer speaking to the team about believing. That's
Yeah.
Coach Prime.
100%.
Mata.
Yes, for real.
Last one from Jordan, talking about committing to the run game more.
But it feels good to run the ball. Passing 70 times it's fun to watch Shedeur throw, but my legs do get tired sometimes, But yeah, the run game's been a big emphasis this year for us. Coach Phil, Coach Pat, all the good teams, they run the ball. They're able to RPO off it. Then once they bring the box in, they put 8 in the box. Now we go head top over top with guys like Will Shepard and stuff. So I feel like opening up the run game and being more consistent with the run game will help open everything else that we have with our great OC that we got.
It's exactly what Coach Prime's been talking about. They need to run the ball just so that everything else can open up. It's not that they want to be the biggest or best rushing team in the country, but you need to have some sort of running game to open up everything else in your offense.
I had never thought of the fatigue that you would get from that many pass sets.
I mean, you're moving backwards.
Moving backwards and basically, squatting.
Yeah.
Exactly. That pass set is not easy to get into.
Yeah, like I didn't play offensive line like that, so I never really thought about it. But that's definitely more tiring than just
Straight
trudging
in.
forward.
Yes. Yeah.
So you got to let these guys stretch their legs a little bit.
No doubt. Hey, last thing on Jordan. Every starting spot on that offensive line has been tinkered with this season. Guys coming in and out, except that left tackle spot.
True freshman.
And that a true freshman, man. That just can't be understated. That just can't be overlooked. Jordan Seaton is, like Coach Prime said, man, we all had pretty high expectations for that young man coming in and maybe some unfair expectations, but he's living up to them at the very minimum, if not exceeding all of them, which is just perfect for this team.
That actually teed me up for something I was thinking about watching the game, which is, first of all, from the field or from where I was in the stands, I didn't realize that Hank was benched because he was struggling with the snaps.
Right.
But it led to an awesome moment of leadership for Shedeur. And it was mentioned on the game broadcast. I tweeted it out.
Yep.
Basically, Shedeur going over to Hank after he, because Hank was down on himself.
Right.
Shedeur going up to him just saying, hey, I believe in you. I trust you. We're going to need you moving forward. Keep your head up. It's just so awesome to see from him. Then, Shedeur helping Sam Hart off the field. It was just such a great game to display his leadership. He's cooking up plays on the sideline from scratch, just drawing it up in the sand with Pat Shermer.
That just made me think about the clip of him talking to Will.
Bro, iconic quote.
So good.
Iconic quote.
Is you gonna catch this fade ball or no? I don't have time to hear about that ankle you got going on, bro. That is just gold. Just gold for sure.
It is. And then, to tie a bow on it, randomly last night I'm scrolling through YouTube shorts and a video comes up from when Shedeur was in high school. And he got thrown out of the game for cursing at a ref. And Coach Prime, grabs him by his shirt and is just like, we do not do that. You are a man. We do not do that. Like, I have no tolerance for that. Mm-hmm. And it's just such an amalgamation of seeing Coach Prime as a father, Coach Prime as a coach, and now you see Shedeur out there and he's so mature and he handles himself like such a pro. And it's just it was like a cool full circle for me to see that within kind of 24 hours of this game. I was like, man, that's it right there. That's what this is all about.
All-time clip from Shedeur. Yeah, it's just fantastic. All right, let's take our next break, and then we'll get to Coach Prime and today's presser. Shout out our friends over at Bet365, the homies. How was your weekend on Bet365?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good. I said I was absolved of being able to bet on the Buffs, but I got gun shy in the moment. I didn't want to mess anything up. So now I'm back on the sidelines.
All right, fair enough.
But everywhere else we did well.
I bet on the Buffs money line.
Good job.
And I got my money before halftime because the Buffs hit that 17-point early money line payout over at Bet365, where you can sign up with the code DNVR365 to get in on the bet and get offer. All you got to do is deposit $10. Place a bet of $5 or more. Once that bet hits or misses, you will get $200 in bonus bets deposited directly into your account. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Also, shout out to Westera Credit Union. Jake's first friends, but not his only friends. He's stacking them now. If you like earning money by doing the things you're already doing in your checking account, visit westeracu.com/smartmoney to check out all of the awesome offerings they have right now. Go to a credit union over a big bank. They're going to treat you like family or friend. And you'll really like what they have to offer over at Westera Credit Union. So go to westeracu.com/smartmoney. Membership eligibility required, insured by the NCUA. Restrictions and conditions apply.
I got another friend in Scott. I'm doing all right.
That's what I said. You're stacking them now.
I'm doing all right. Also, we got a deal for the Cincinnati game. Takeover stuff.
Yes.
We got game tickets, parking, and tailgate tickets, all cheaper than a price of a regular ticket on the secondary market.
Yeah, you guys got to snatch up this offer. It's the whole package. You got to go check it out. If you're coming to the game, if you're looking for a ticket, check it out. It's a sweet deal. We'll get to see you at the tailgate, hang out. You get to park. Everything taken care of. One last note.
All right.
Sorry. Cash held it down.
Not bad.
Shout out to him, man.
Yeah.
For real.
IMG.
For a freshman like that, to come in, and do his job in that way, that was impressive.
IMG boys are different, man.
It's definitely true.
All right, here's what Coach Prime had to say. You can check all these out on our YouTube channel, but here's Coach Prime talking about what the Buffs are going to face this weekend in the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Cincinnati is great. Cincinnati, they're playing really good football. If you match up statistically, we're kind of right there with one another. Our defense may have the edge just a little bit, but offensively, they have a lot more balance with running and passing the football. I like what they're doing. They're not flashy. It's not a sexy thing, but they get the job done. And I love the way they attack. I love the way they get to the ball. I love what they're accomplishing this season. It's a tremendous task. We cannot make mistakes, and we cannot start off slow. We got to go get them. We got to go at them. And that's what we plan on doing.
We'll dig into Cincinnati a lot more tonight and tomorrow. But Coach Prime, I think, nailed it right there. I mean, they're just a tough football team. If you watch that UCF game, it wasn't pretty on either side, but Cincinnati outlasted them.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm excited to study up on them because other than Dante Corleone, I think I said that right.
Corleone? I say Corleone, but Corleone.
Other than him, they don't have star power, really. And yet they're getting it done. They're finding a way. So it'll be I'm excited to kind of dive in and see what's making that thing tick.
Yeah, this match is going to be interesting. I don't think many of us expected Cincinnati to be 5-2 at this point. No. So shout out to them. Shout out to Scott Satterfield, their head coach. You mentioned Corleone, who's a hell of a player. They got a future NFL offensive tackle, Luke Kandra, I believe is his last name. Really good running back as well, Corey Kiner. I mean, that's how they're going to make their hay, particularly through the run game, which is something that Colorado's defense is familiar with this season. Brennan Sorsby, their quarterback, is playing fine enough. He's not hurting his team, not turning the ball over, playing efficient football. But that's where I think this defense is going to be able to make some plays. So I really like the matchup for CU. I'm sure we'll get into it more, but I like the matchup a ton.
Yeah, we'll dig into the Cincinnati tape and talk about it all tomorrow. This game is late again. We've had our gripes. Coach Prime has had his gripes. He was asked about it again today and shared his thoughts on yet another 8:15 start time.
Yeah, we don't like it, but we do love it. You don't like it because of the time, but you love it because we're chosen to be on television once again. I think that's 8 consecutive weeks that we're proud that we're chosen. That once upon a time that you was begging to be on television, so we're not going to turn to our nose up at being on national television. Yeah, we could argue with the time, but we're still appreciative and thankful. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I mean, you got to change the schedule. You got to prepare the kids because we practice in the morning. So now we got to do body adjustments, time adjustments, sleep adjustments for our young men so that they could start off fairly quickly. We hadn't started off quick in the night games because of that flips our whole schedule. We fared better in day games because that's who we are. But we plan on making adjustments this week to make sure we get the proper sleep, the proper rest, and we're ready and prepared for kickoff, regardless of whatever time it is.
Did we talk about that on Sunday when we were talking about why CU is better on the road and the fact that you kind of you're forced to shift your schedule at that point? But when you have an 8:15 game at home, you're at home and you have to, the day before, even before that, maybe even Thursday or Wednesday, you need to start changing these things so that you're more adjusted to be ready at 8:15 p.m.
Yeah, I mean, especially I actually think we forgot to talk about that when we were talking about why the team plays better on the road. But aside from the CSU game, these last two were both midday games, which definitely helps, I think. But especially with a bye week to kind of reset to whatever you're preparing for the next week, I would move all practices this week to the night. And not even to the night, 8:15 p.m. Why not?
Yeah.
Coach Prime mentioned that they're going to make some adjustments this week, so maybe that's what it will be. But, I don't think anyone probably likes that. I know if I work out that late, I'm going to be up super, super late. But I think that's the right thing to do for the internal clock. Get it going right away so you're not, tired.
It sucks. Having to wait all day from a player's perspective. Wait all day again. You guys touched on it. The schedule is completely different. Your body clock is just completely all twisted around. And I feel like that has to be, if you're looking at it objectively, I think you can point to that as a reason why this team has had the slow starts, particularly at home for these late games, because it's just not normal to be juiced up, adrenaline completely rushing at, from 8 to, damn near midnight. You know what I'm saying? It's not normal for these guys. So, but like Coach Prime said, I like that he kind of took the high road a little bit today. He's like, hey, this program not used to prime time national TV games, so not really in a position to complain about it. But
that's true. Facts.
Nonetheless, it's gonna be fun atmosphere. I'm excited to see what the Boulder Buff faithful has in store for Saturday night.
I feel like they did this last year, at least maybe the day before or something, but did like a night practice to kind of match or at least tune the internal clock a little bit, but it's not like they shifted 2, 3, or every practice before a late game.
Yeah, I think they generally do their walkthrough late if they have a late game on the night before the game. But I mean, I would probably just shift the whole thing. Look, I agree with the people, I would love for them all to be 1:30 games because it seems like we play the best then. But it's not happening, so we got to figure out a way to get these guys to perform at their best late at night.
And if you want to go play in a Big 12 title game, bowl game / potential CFP game, they're not going to be 1:30 games.
That's such a great point. Have we seen what the schedule looks like for the college football playoffs?
Like game time?
Yeah, with the new format? No, I don't think so, yeah.
We're going to get what? 4 games for the first weekend?
I'll try and look it up.
2 and 2 or all in one day. I cannot wait.
Last clip from Coach Prime. He gave an update on the running back situation and revealed who will be the starting back this weekend.
To happen, or is that a
you
situation
won't want them to jump out
right
and stand shoulders above the others. We're going to go back with the big fella again this week. The one who started last week too. I called him 2-3. Give me a name. You know how I am. I forget everybody. I can't remember Neely's name right there. Right, Neely? Yes, sir. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, of my Naples franchise player. He hits it. He's physical. He runs downhill. He's not second guessing, trying to bounce to the outside. And at times, we need that. There's different schemes and different approaches for different teams. This team we're going to need, because they 3-man front. They may drop 8 on us, to stop the pass game. We're going to need to gash him. And the big fella, he does not hesitate. He's downhill, and he's going, and he wants it. I mean, he wants it like all the rest of them. But one has an ankle, one has a hamstring, and Charlie is Charlie, old faithful. Like the little engine that could. He just putting away. He doing his thing. So, but Gustav, he's going to get to start again this week.
So there you go. Dallin a little bit with the ankle still. Micah a bit with the hamstring still. Charlie the little engine that could. But Isaiah Gustav, he's going to be starting at the running backs position again.
I like it, man. He was really consistent in that game, I thought. And I think that's the one thing that he's probably brought to the table the most, more than the other guys, is like when there's a gap there, you can pretty much count on him to get 4.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go.
And that's what this team needs.
It's all this team needs.
Yeah. You really don't need someone to hit home runs as much as I would love for them to.
Right.
You need to be able to count on the fact that when you hand him the ball, you're not going to be behind the chains.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can find all these on our YouTube channel. It was honestly great pressers today from all 3 of them. Keaten Wade, Jordan Seaton, and Coach Prime. Go check them all out. On the CFP, first round games on campus, Friday, December 20th. 1 game in the evening, Saturday, December 21st. My birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday
3
in
games.
advance.
3 games, CFP games on my birthday.
There's got to be a day game then, you would think. Right?
Early afternoon, late afternoon, and
Yeah.
evening.
All right, so first and foremost, let's hope that we're covering one.
Yes.
In the world that we're not, we got to have one hell of a day here.
That Saturday? Oh, man, let's do it.
For your birthday, 3 college football playoff
down.
games?
I'm so down.
Yeah.
Dangerous. But, again, let's hope we're there.
All right, a few more minutes. We do have some notes.
Can I ask one more college football playoff question?
Sure.
So, the world in which Colorado hosts a college football playoff game
Yes.
is they don't win the conference,
Yep.
but they get a at-large bid, and they are the higher ranked.
They'd have to be 5 through 8.
It's a very tight window, but
Yeah.
that would probably be the coolest thing that could ever happen.
It'd be so unbelievable. Just a few more notes before we move on.
And let me say, I'll prefer the conference championship way, but still.
Get your questions in now. We'll get to them shortly. Shedeur visited Fairview High School, your high school.
Yeah, that was
How cool was that?
That's dope.
That was crazy, man. First of all, Shedaddy is wild.
Excuse
That's
me?
what they were calling.
I was going to say, did somebody call him that? Or?
That's what they were yelling at him when he was coming in.
That's wild.
So chill out. Second of all, it is crazy to see that happen at my high school. And the reason why I say that is because, like, it's a very different time. But when I look back to when I was in high school, even actually on our countdown of the best games at Folsom Field, which Ted put out today, he put out number 11, which was the upset over Oklahoma. So that's when I was in high school. And the quarterback of that team was Cody Hawkins.
Yeah.
And if he pulled up to school, even the day after that, or the Monday after that, I think he could have just walked right in without anyone other than, me and my friend, and a few of my friends even noticing who it was.
Right.
Yeah.
To see Shedeur walk into the doors that I walked in every single day in high school, and people losing their minds, like it's the damn Beatles walking in,
Yeah.
it was really like just a whoa moment for what this team has done. And Jake, I don't know if you remember this, but about a month maybe into the Prime era, I told you I was at just like a restaurant down the street, and we're just a few blocks away from East High School, and some of the high school kids were there, and like 2 of them were wearing Buff shirts, and they were talking about Colorado, and I was like, it's crazy that Colorado became cool again in Colorado high schools.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big step. When people want, keep the best talent at home. The reason that, Christian McCaffrey and, other great athletes have left is not because Colorado wasn't recruiting them. It's because Colorado wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are a big-time athlete in high school and, you're being recruited and you tell your friends, hey, man, I'm going to Stanford. Back then, that's like, whoa, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Imagine right now if you got to walk in and be like, man, I'm going to play for Coach Prime.
Hell yeah.
And after seeing that, it really like reshaped me of what that is going to do and what it's done already.
Love it, man.
It's dope.
Last note. Congrats to Jaylyn Sherrod and the New York Liberty for winning the WNBA Championship.
Definitely.
Hell yeah.
Jaylyn Sherrod is now a WNBA champion, as well as Derek White. So two former
tough.
Buffs the last year.
Love to see it.
Awesome stuff. All right, let's take our final break and get to questions. Shout out our friends over at Circle K, the homies who fueled us on our road trip. I kind of felt bad because we actually did kind of clean one out. We went hard on
We
that.
did. That was an epic Circle K, by the way. And I just picked it by looking at the map, and I was just like looking at pictures. I was like, this one looks sick. And it had like a whole beer fridge,
Oh, wow.
which we cleared them out of Coors Light, I think. Coors Light, I should say. And then we also, like, when we brought all of our stuff to the front, because they don't have shopping carts, they don't have shopping carriers or whatever, because they're not used to people doing crazy shit like us. We covered their entire counter with things for them to scan. So sorry about that. At least it was like not busy in there.
Yes, apologies to that Colorado Springs Circle K. But shout out to them for keeping us fueled and full on the road, really. You can download the Circle K app and sign up for the Inner Circle for exclusive offers. New offers, it's gas discounts every 5th or 6th item free on rollers, Polar Pops, all that kind of good stuff. Purchase clubs and sweepstakes are updated weekly, so check it out.
Also, check out DNVR events, including, like we mentioned, the tailgate this weekend. If you don't need tickets, you can still come through the tailgate, of course, which we'd love to see everyone there. It's going to be a blast. I would say if there's one major positive about 8 o'clock starts, more time to watch college football.
And tailgate is
more
lit.
time to tailgate included. So we'll see you guys there. Can't wait to see you then. And
Scott's first tailgate.
go to thednvr.com
I can't wait.
/events to check them out. Yeah, you're going to have to roll with us.
Let's get it.
All right, what's up, chat? How's everyone doing today? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and give Scott a follow on Twitter.
Yep. And we should definitely run up the likes today.
Yeah, we need more than 350. Let's get to 500 before the show ends. Dud asks, what are the plans when 100K comes during the bye week?
I don't know. I sound like we don't do shows during the bye week.
That is true. That is true.
We have some cool
stay
things
tuned.
planned for the race to 100.
Yep. The Scott being here mean Cranky Jake can finally watch ball when he wants to.
I don't know, Jake, you gonna tag out?
Sure. Atlanta Stay Focused and Informed says, is Scott going to be on the bus? Of course Scott's going to be on the bus.
But
Great
a lot of
question.
people have asked if we're going to get his face on the side of the
That's
bus.
how I interpreted the question. Is my face going to be on the bus? That's what I'm thinking.
It actually didn't work out just with like logistics, but I really wanted our reveal video of you joining DNVR Buffs to be us slapping your face onto the side of the bus.
I wanted it to be
That'd
us
be hilarious.
going down
Yeah.
the side of the road and going, wait, there's a guy there. Let's pick him up. He
Come
looks
get
like
me.
he knows ball.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
then
what
Scott walks on.
that's what we were gonna do if Scott was allowed to come with us this last weekend.
Hey, me and Alyssa going to get our faces on the bus eventually, one day.
Next year's bus will absolutely have Scott's face on the side of it. We only have two more trips. Yet. You know,
See how it is.
we can get Alyssa on there too.
Oh, shit.
Phone down.
SN Services asked, when is Dayon coming back? I don't know. I wanted to get a chance to ask Coach that question, but unfortunately did not get a chance to, so we do not know. Dave Rich asked, is Wade exclusively an outside guy? I thought I remembered him playing inside a bit as well in spring/fall practice. Pretty sure he's an edge.
Yeah, he's, I would say, pretty exclusively outside, just based on his size.
Yep. Jamel asks, where can we get the T-shirt, RK?
Oh, yes. Well, you can get this one
Hell yeah.
at the DNVR Locker, which you got to get that. That's the official Stampede tour shirt. I had to get a plug-in
Fire.
for us first. It's got the tour dates on the back there. So go get that one. Also, it's on my favorite style, like kind of T-shirt, the comfort colors. Mm-hmm. Lovely.
Yep. Yeah.
This one, though, is not from DNVR. This one was from a place called Game Changers. So I always, like, whenever I saw it on TikTok, and I'm always worried. But, you know, the print came out really nice.
That's hard, bro.
It's decently comfortable T-shirt. So
like it.
I give them my stamp. I bought some from another place, which, like, you'll never even see on this show because of how bad they came. But so
Never again, huh?
Yeah, they were rough.
Demetrius asked, what bowl game would you all want the Buffs to play in through the Natty? I mean, we'd love them to make the CFP first and foremost, obviously.
Through the, what does that mean?
I just assumed it mean which bowl game do you want?
Like which? Because they have like different bowl games for different college football playoffs. I think that's a question. Because
Rose
if
Bowl.
it's through the Natty.
Then Rose Bowl. Easily.
So overrated.
Oh my God, bro, please.
I want the Sugar Bowl.
It's another
Take
good
me to
one.
Atlanta.
We're Sugar. Okay.
Yeah.
In Atlanta. Interesting.
I think that's Atlanta.
A road trip to Arizona would be fun again for the Fiesta Bowl.
Fiesta.
That is nice. Yep. But we
Dallas for the Cotton Bowl?
Oh, that would be sick.
That Jerry World?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
And then Peach
Wherever we
Bowl's
go,
in
I want it
Atlanta?
to be Coach Prime territory. So Dallas, Atlanta, sign me up.
Jay says, did you see Tyler Brown had the highest PFF rating in the game on Saturday and O-line dog? Shout out TB, man. Happy for him.
Yeah, so I think Jordan had the highest pass blocking grade, but overall Tyler was the highest rated buff, which is awesome, man. That guy works his ass off, and he deserves some credit.
Please roast RK for that take, man.
That's what I
Come
just
on.
laughed at too.
For what?
Your Rose Bowl take, man.
They said you saying it's overrated. You must be on crack or something.
Okay, also it's I guess Sugar Bowl is in New Orleans, which
Yes. Peach Bowl
even
in
better.
just as cool,
Atlanta.
yeah.
I actually want that even more now.
Yeah.
Peach Bowl is Atlanta. That makes more sense. I'll say this: the Rose Bowl game, not overrated.
Stadium.
The Rose Bowl stadium,
Yeah, I've heard that too.
heavily overrated.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to clarify my take there.
But on January 1st, when it's 60 degrees out,
Yeah.
and that 5:30 sunset hits right when they're going into like the third quarter or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
that's college football.
Yeah, I mean, you got like the flyover, all that stuff. It's amazing.
That'd be elite.
It's great. It's beautiful. Pasadena, lovely. The Rose
a
Bowl,
hater.
ass
Just a
stadium.
hater. Zulus asks, what happened to the transfer Wiggins? He's on the team. We have a lot of edge rushers. I think he's just buried on the depth chart.
Yeah, he sure looks like he can play though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ivan, what's up? Approximately how many visitors can we expect this weekend? Are Carde and Juju the elite guys in the bunch, or can we expect some other surprises? It's still early in the weekend. I don't really know yet, but we'll definitely talk about it as the week moves on. I mean, we had 10-ish for K-State. I'd expect at least around there, if not a little bit more, because I think that if Julian's here, there's going to be a lot more high-profile guys.
I saw somebody in the chat earlier in the show say that Alex Graham was going to be here this
Steve
weekend. I don't
Wilfong
know.
just
if
said
that's-
that, yep.
I don't know if that's true. That,
Yep.
is that- yeah. Oh, go crazy.
And he was here
a hell of a group.
for K-State. He might have been.
Yep.
He's already been here for a game.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Eric asks,
Ring the Alex Graham bell.
Jake, Arcane, Scott, do you view this weekend's game against Cincinnati as a must-win? I say yes, because going into the bye with bowl eligibility clinched would take a weight off the team. Every game from now on is a must-win.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm so glad that that was your answer, and I'm glad Eric asked the question. I thought about that today. It's like
Absolutely.
we've entered a new conversation, which is trying to win the conference.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now every game is a must-win.
Yep.
No slip ups. And honestly, the way the schedule sets up, there really shouldn't be any.
Yep. But also to Eric's point, clinching bowl eligibility before
big
the
deal
bye
for
week,
this team.
Before Halloween?
and
It's crazy.
for this team, for this fan base, for everyone involved, you know, obviously Coach Prime for Peggy, as unfortunate as it is, and sometimes I hate even talking about this stuff, like a bowl game is a huge deal for Colorado football.
Without a doubt.
they've made one, I guess two if you count the COVID year in the last like 20 or so years. It's been really rough. They haven't won one since even longer than that. So it's going to be a big moment for a lot of the people who went through the struggle with this team to see them get to 6.
Yeah.
And I really, really hope that happens this weekend so we can celebrate it, get it out of the way, and then be like, okay, we're on to much bigger things now.
For sure. Definitely, man. Super chats, we go. Big Teasy in the house. Welcome to the team, Scott. But
Appreciate you, TZ.
DNVR, we better see hashtag Alyssa face first on the bus.
Agreed.
21 questions coming soon. Alyssa, when do you want to do 21 questions this week?
Thank God for Big Teasy. I appreciate you. We can do it whenever. Maybe next week on the bye.
There you
Bye
go.
week and my birthday.
Oh,
There you
turn
go.
up.
There
Next
we go.
week at the latest, 21 questions with Alyssa coming.
One of the hurdles with getting Alyssa on the bus is that Alyssa doesn't have a DNVR emoji.
That is true.
So you gotta bang on Eric's door first.
Yep. Let him know.
Scott already does.
Yes, he does. Clay with the super chat. It was cool meeting you guys at Bourbon Bent. RK, I was the guy by the bar that said my sister loves you. And shout out to Scott for jumping in the portal. And you didn't even get caught tampering.
No, sir.
LOL. Great to meet you, man. Thanks for coming out.
You got to be more specific. Everyone's sister loves me.
My God.
I'm just kidding. It was great to meet you too.
You're going to get in trouble for that one, bro. LT with the straight $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, LT. Varian with the super chat. Asking as respectful as I can, how much influence is Coach Prime in you diversifying your team? I think it's awesome and wonder how much it was before. You all are a testament to growth and new things.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much. What was the question?
Asking as respectful as I can, how much influence is Coach Prime in you diversifying your team?
Like the DNVR team?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that that's necessarily impacted it. It's all about just finding great people. And like whenever talented individuals come across us, we're like, we got to find a way to hire them. You know, Ryan Green was the same way. It was just like, this guy's making epic content. We got to find a way to hire him. Scott the same way. Jake, you know, a similar yet different scenario where you know he made sure that we knew
I
that
forced my way.
Yeah,
in here.
exactly. So it's all about just hiring great people and letting them cook, which I think that's the most important part.
Yep.
Because you can hire great people and put them in a box and not really let them shine. I think one of the things that from the start here we've done a great job of is just like finding people that are really good and just saying, go be great.
Yeah. No
Love
doubt.
it, man.
It's awesome.
Cloud with the just question, what time does tailgating?
One last thing, we're always trying to diversify our staff
Of course.
in every city, everywhere.
Cloud says, what time does tailgating start on Saturday? Coming from Nashville to see the game. And I want to stop through to say, what's up? Come hang out, man, please. 8:15 kickoff.
4 o'clock tailgate.
4 o'clock tailgate. There you go. Shout out to everyone who dropped a W in the chat. Like the stream on your way out. Happy to have my boy Scott here, man.
Happy to be here, fellas, man. Appreciate y'all.
I'm laughing at Reef's comment.
That boy Reef be having me dead.
Reef's hilarious.
No, real spill. This is one of my favorite parts about every time coming on the show is just reading the comments and interacting with you guys. And like I kind of mentioned at the top, man, if I didn't already know that Buff Nation was real, I know that today.
Hell yeah,
just
man.
based on the support that I've gotten, you know, joining the squad, it means a lot. So I appreciate y'all out there for showing love. It means a lot.
Amen.
Last minute super chat from LT. It says, messed up my first super chat. Need a 360 windmill on FSU if Buffs get eligible and Knowles get eliminated Saturday. Also, will you be at TT? what's
Texas Tech.
Oh, Texas Tech Beers on Me? Yeah,
We'll be
in
everywhere.
Melbourne. Yep.
We'll be everywhere. Wherever the Buffs go, we will be. As for this, about the FSU thing, I don't feel motivation to go after them.
No, they deserve the smoke.
I'm just saying me personally. Same thing, like someone quote tweeted a Jay Norvell thing yesterday and was like, you got to go after him for this.
Oh, no.
I was like, I haven't thought about Colorado State since that game ended.
Colorado State's definitely old news, but FSU,
Yeah.
the pain isn't over yet. For
I'm
them.
sure I have receipts from a couple of FSU fans that I'll unload, but time and place for everything.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm just like, they don't really register for me.
I just kind of feel bad for him. I'm not gonna lie. It's gone like as bad as it possibly could have gone.
I don't feel bad for them one bit.
I will say this: it is a very unfortunate thing for a fan base to be having a magical season, lose their quarterback, still go undefeated, miss out on the CFP, and then have this happen to them.
Yep.
That's tough.
Especially when you consider that you could have had Cam Ward. He goes to Miami, and your quarterback from the portal isn't even starting anymore.
Was he considered Florida State out the portal?
Yeah.
That's on them, I would say.
It is.
Yeah, so that one I don't feel bad for.
It's crazy.
Because I know what they gave DJ Lundy to come back, so they could have got Cam Ward.
Yeah, crazy. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Scott will be back tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
We're going to dig into Cincinnati tonight. We'll get into the offense and defense, all that good stuff. Scouting tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.